I never imagined I'd be writing this. Growing up, I watched my parents' messy divorce tear our family apart. My dad cheated with his secretary, the most cliché thing ever. Mom never recovered, turned to drinking, and I spent my teenage years basically raising my younger sister. I promised myself I'd never put my future kids through that hell. But here I am, living my worst nightmare. Our story started 12 years ago. I was a junior in college studying construction management, and my brother Rob, 35M, was hosting a Super Bowl party. His girlfriend Julie, 34F, brought her friend Annie, 29F, along. Annie wore her dad's vintage football jersey and knew more stats than any of us guys. We talked until 3 a.m. that night, long after everyone else left. I knew she was special. We dated through college and the rough early years of our careers. Annie supported me when I worked 80-hour weeks as a junior project manager. I cheered her on through 3 promotions at her marketing firm. We lived in a tiny apartment, saved every penny, and dreamed about our future. Annie was the planner, she mapped everything out. House by 27, kids by 30, early retirement to travel the world. Rob and Julie got married first and bought a house in our dream neighborhood. When the place 2 doors down went up for sale, they called us immediately. We stretched our budget but made it work. That was 3 years ago. Since then, life has been perfect. Sunday family dinners became our tradition. Rob's kids started calling us Uncle Mike and Aunt Annie. Julie and Annie became inseparable, morning runs, cooking classes, weekend shopping trips. Everything changed last year when Rob's best friend Mark, 36M, moved back after his divorce. He told us his ex-wife cheated with their marriage counselor. Everyone felt bad for him. Rob wanted to help, so Mark became a regular at our gatherings. He seemed like a good guy at first, always offering to help with house projects, bringing wine to dinner, entertaining Rob's kids. Looking back, there were signs I ignored. Mark always sat next to Annie at dinner. They developed inside jokes I didn't understand. Annie started dressing up more when she knew he'd be around. She'd get texts late at night and smile at her phone. When I asked, she'd say it was work or Julie. I trusted her completely. Last Tuesday changed everything. It was raining at the construction site, so I headed home early. Mark's red pickup was in our driveway. This wasn't unusual, he sometimes used our pool or borrowed tools from our garage. But something felt wrong. The house was too quiet. Annie's car was there, but she hadn't answered my text about coming home early. I found them in our bedroom. The room we painted together last summer. The bed where we talked about our future kids. They were getting dressed, but it was obvious what had happened. Annie saw me first. Her face went white. Mark grabbed his shirt and tried to speak, but I just walked out. I drove aimlessly for hours. My phone kept buzzing but I couldn't look at it. I ended up at a hotel near the airport. After staring at the ceiling all night, I turned my phone back on. 47 missed calls from Annie, 15 from Rob, countless messages. Annie's messages evolved from "Where are you?" to "Please come home, we need to talk to I can explain everything." Rob's messages were different. Mark had shown up at his house drunk and confessed everything. This wasn't a one-time thing. They'd been meeting at our house for 4 months, whenever I was at work. Rob kicked Mark out and ended their 20-year friendship. I stayed at the hotel for 3 days. Julie brought me clean clothes and sat with me while I broke down. That's when I learned the full extent of Annie's betrayal. The affair started at Rob's birthday party in March. Mark had been pursuing Annie for months, random texts, convenient run-ins at stores, always offering help with any problem she mentioned. Annie used our family time to meet him. She'd arrive early to Sunday dinners, claiming she was helping Julie cook, but really meeting Mark in their garage. She manipulated Julie into covering for her multiple times, saying they were going shopping or to wine tastings when she was meeting Mark. Every room in our house now holds tainted memories. The kitchen where we danced while making dinner. The living room where we planned our future. The bedroom where I found them. It all feels poisoned. I can't go back. Update 1: The support from this community has been eye-opening. Every message helped me get through another day. After reading your advice, I met with a lawyer and filed for divorce. I texted Annie to clear out her stuff before I came home. She moved in with her parents. The last week revealed more than I ever wanted to know. Annie's dad showed up at my hotel room crying. He raised Annie as a daddy's girl, she was class president, never missed curfew, graduated top of her class. He kept asking where they went wrong in raising her. I told him they didn't, Annie made her choices as an adult. He hugged me and said I'd always be his son, regardless of what happens. Rob's taking this harder than anyone. He introduced us, brought Mark into our lives. Julie found messages between Annie and Mark on their shared family plan going back to January. The texts revealed everything. Annie and Mark had been apartment hunting together. She planned to leave me after my company's big project finished next month, said it would be the right time since I'd be getting my annual bonus. Mark's story about his divorce was a lie. Rob discovered Mark had cheated on his ex-wife with multiple women, including their neighbor and his ex-wife's cousin. His ex didn't cheat with their counselor, Mark made that up to gain sympathy. The lies keep unraveling. Those late marketing meetings? Dates with Mark. Monthly girls' wine club? Never existed. The yoga classes she started last fall? She spent those hours at Mark's apartment. She even used our anniversary dinner reservation to take him out while I was at a work conference in Houston. My favorite restaurant, where all the staff knew us. They must have seen them together. Annie's brother Tom, 31M, brought me more proof yesterday. He found Annie's secret credit card statements. She spent over $15,000 on gifts for Mark, designer watches, weekend trips, even a down payment on a jet ski. That money came from our joint savings, meant for our future kids' college funds. Julie finally confessed something that makes me sick. Annie had asked her to delete their home security footage multiple times, claiming she had been crying about work stress and didn't want me to worry. Now we know she was meeting Mark there when Rob traveled for work. Julie felt too guilty to keep it secret anymore. The depth of Annie's deception is staggering. She volunteered to handle our finances last year, saying she wanted to learn more about investing. Now I know she was hiding her spending on Mark. She suggested I take that construction project 2 hours away, saying the experience would help my career. Really, she wanted more time with him. Our friends are choosing sides. Most support me, but some mutual friends think I should hear her out. Annie's college roommate called to tell me that Annie and Mark had been flirting at Rob's Christmas party last year. She didn't tell me then because she thought it was harmless. Now she feels guilty for staying quiet. I've barely eaten or slept. The thought of them together in our bed keeps me awake. I canceled our joint credit cards and gym membership. Changed all my passwords. Found a new barber because Annie's cousin works at my old one. It's exhausting having to rebuild every aspect of my life. Update 2: These past 2 weeks have shown me how deep this betrayal goes. Annie's trying everything to stop the divorce. Her mother ambushed me at my hotel, camping outside until security removed her. Annie showed up at my construction site in tears, causing such a scene that my supervisor had to escort her out. She even enrolled in my morning CrossFit class, forcing me to switch gyms. Rob uncovered more about Mark's past that makes me sick. Turns out Annie wasn't his only married target. He had affairs with 2 other women from our social circle. Lisa, 33F, who suddenly moved across the country last year for a dream job, was actually running from her guilt after a 6-month affair with Mark. Then there was Rachel, 38F, my project manager's wife, who mysteriously divorced last spring. Rob exposed everything at our local pub where Mark was a regular. Mark's reputation crumbled overnight. He packed up and moved to Seattle last week. Annie's family is imploding over this. Her dad and brother are firmly on my side. They helped me pack her things and even hired a storage unit in their name so she couldn't find out where her stuff was. But her mom and sister have gone full damage control. They ambush me everywhere, the grocery store, gas station, even my doctor's office. They insist marriage is sacred and I need to fight for our love. They don't know about the apartment hunting or the money she stole. The most frustrating part is how some friends are reacting. Pete, 34M, who was supposed to be my friend first, suggested I was partly to blame because I worked long hours. He conveniently forgot how Annie encouraged me to take overtime projects. Monica, 31F, another college friend, said I should have noticed the signs sooner. I cut contact with anyone who tried to rationalize Annie's choices. Our couple's friends are dissolving into chaos. 2 other couples have started marriage counseling, paranoid that this could happen to them. Our monthly poker group disbanded because no one wants to be around Mark's other victims' husbands. The community pool where we all hung out got too awkward, too many whispers, too many pitying looks. Annie's mom started a prayer chain at their church for our marriage. Now random church members message me about forgiveness and redemption. One elderly lady left a Bible on my truck with passages about reconciliation highlighted. I had to switch parking spots at work to avoid these daily gifts. The financial mess is worse than I thought. Annie's secret credit card had a $23,000 balance, all gifts for Mark or hotels they met at. She used our investment account passwords to withdraw money, claiming it was for home improvements. There was even a lease application for an apartment in both their names, dated for next month. She planned everything while sleeping next to me every night. Update 3: It's been a month since my world exploded. The divorce is moving forward steadily. I accepted a project management position in Denver, ironically, the same job I turned down last year because Annie said she couldn't leave her family. Rob and Julie visit every other weekend. Our relationship has actually strengthened through this nightmare. Funny how betrayal shows you who really matters. Annie's getting more desperate. She's created at least 15 new email addresses to contact me. Her messages range from suicidal threats to detailed plans of how we can rebuild trust. Last week she mailed a 30-page handwritten letter to my office, recounting every moment of our relationship and her supposed regrets. I returned it unopened. Her cousin tried to slip me a USB drive full of videos of Annie crying and apologizing. It went straight into the trash. Her dad's been a surprising source of support. He handled the house sale himself, met with realtors, managed paperwork, coordinated with movers. He made sure Annie stayed away during the whole process. The house sold above asking price. The money will be split in the divorce, but my lawyer's focusing on recovering the funds Annie spent on Mark. The community fallout continues. 3 couples from our friend group have separated, all citing trust issues after watching our marriage implode. Mark's other victim stories keep surfacing. One of them, Rachel, reached out to apologize. She knew about Annie but stayed quiet out of shame. Mark had a whole system, targeting married women at community events, playing the divorced victim, slowly integrating himself into their lives. Rob discovered Mark never actually moved to Seattle. He's living with some woman in a nearby city, probably starting his cycle again. Rob wanted to warn her, but I told him to stay out of it. I'm done letting Mark affect my life in any way. Annie still shows up at random places. She got a job at a coffee shop near my new office, probably hoping to run into me. She joined my new gym but got kicked out for harassing me. She even tried befriending my new project coordinator, claiming to be an old family friend needing to deliver urgent news. The hardest part is watching the impact on Rob's kids. They used to ask about Aunt Annie every day. Now they're learning about betrayal way too young. Their school counselor called because they're struggling with trust issues. Another innocent casualty of Annie's selfishness. Yesterday, I finally packed away our wedding album. Found Annie's handwritten vows tucked inside, promises of eternal faithfulness, trust, and honesty. The same promises she broke while planning a future with my brother's best friend. The same promises she now swears she'll keep if I give her another chance. I'm rebuilding slowly. Joined a local hiking group, reconnected with college friends in Denver, started learning Spanish, something Annie always said was a waste of time. Some days are harder than others, but I'm no longer feeling lost. To everyone who supported me through this, thank you. Your stories and advice helped me stay strong when I wanted to give in. Special thanks to this community for showing me I'm not alone. Life isn't what I planned, but at least it's authentic now.